Good evening. Welcome back to the live classroom of the UAE, my teacher. I hope you remember me. We've been here for the same program a few months back. Because of the board exams and all, we were a little bit busy, and at the same time we were waiting for the new academic year to get over. So, those who are watching this program from now, let me tell you a few things about this program. This program is basically focusing the children or the students who are studying in the grades 10 and 12th in the Indian curriculum schools in UAE. So, we will be dealing with the subjects like main core subjects like physics, mathematics, biology, chemistry, even accountancy. All these subjects we will be taking up day after day. So, the nature of the program, let me tell you a bit. By this program, it's like, in fact, you may be knowing by now, it's a live program. You can ask your doubts along with our classes going on. Of course, your feedback would definitely be very valuable thing to improve this program, the quality of this program. And another thing is, like, you may be having lots of confusions or queries, you can call us and ask. But at the same time, if you have anything to be, if we have to work it out, and if the questions you are asking on the spot, if you are unable to make it, of course, you will have to give us some time to get it solved, and we will get back to you, or we will be presenting it before you in case if it requires some time. That also I should say. At the very outset, let me tell you, or let me point out this aspect, that is, this program is definitely showing the social commitment of a visual media to the community. So, last year successfully we have been having classes, and very good responses we had from the students as well as parents in this region. So, we, the teachers, will deliver lessons over here every day from 5 to 6 live. And at this point of time, I have to thank a few persons who are very instrumental in proceeding with this program. Let me thank our principal of Sharjah Indian School, Mr. K. R. Radhakrishnan Nair, for his generous support towards this program. Otherwise, this would not have been materialized. He was very encouraging to the teachers to present this program. Of course, it's unique in nature. It is a program which usually no other TV channels handle at this point of time. So, of course, what is it? Every teacher will have some sort of confusion towards it, how to approach it and all, So, at this point, let me thank our principal for encouraging us to get into this show, because Sharjah Indian, from many of the teachers from Sharjah Indian School are going to join us. One of the largest schools in UAE, that's the Sharjah Indian School, and very well set faculty and well experienced. So, their experience, their expertise, we are going to present before you in this live classroom, which is definitely going to be a useful thing for all the students in the UAE. And this channel is available in eLife platform, and there is now catch up provision also is added to it. So, if you miss the class, of course, if you are able to watch this program along with the classes in the TV, you would be able to ask your doubts as well. But of course, if you had missed due to some reason, you can take it out from the catch up as well. That there is a provision recently it is added to that as well. And its repeat show is going to be there in next day morning 7 o'clock. Make a note on these points. Actually, today as it is the beginning of this session or this season's classes, let me tell you a few things in general. After that, we will get back to the serious business. Okay, very first thing I told you about our gratitude to our principal. Second, I have to thank Dr. Tiju, who is the Consul General, who came yesterday for inaugurating this program. He has been instrumental as well for this program. Even last year he was there with us. So let me thank him. Of course, the soul of this TV channel, Mr. Mathikuti, the chairman. He was also very basically his vision towards what to be done to the society, what to be done to the children in the UAE. Of course, he had got a lot of experiences. Based on that, he thought of initiating this kind of a program. And in fact, as a whole, this program reflects how a media should be committed to the society. And I hope all of you will make use of these sessions, and you will get back to us. You know, the telephone number is displayed on the screen. And of course, if you don't have the e-live platform, or if you don't have this channel in your TV, you can watch it even through the internet. You can visit the website www.ntvuae.com. that you will have live stream to this channel as well. Okay, so there was actually the feedback from your from you will surely we will take up in that serious sense. And the group of teachers who are coming up, let me tell you about that as well. We have Mr. James Matthew, who is going to be teaching you accountancy subject. He is also from Sharjah Indian School. He is one of my colleagues. And we have Mrs. Deepthi. She will be joining us next week. She will come to take some physics classes for grade 10, and she is also definitely an experienced teacher. She will be joining us, and she is also one of my colleagues. And we have Mr. Abdul Nasser. In fact, Dr. Abdul Nasser, he will be joining day after tomorrow just for a session. He came from India for some briefing sessions for the about the professional courses and all. So he will be leaving next week. So before that, we have an opportunity to listen to him. So we will have a session of Dr. Abdul Aziz. He will be joining us with his experience on this field of entrance examinations and courses, professional courses we have in India. So there again, you can make a note on what all. If you have any queries in that matter, keep installed, and you will get a chance to ask. He will be joining us. You can ask your queries to him. We have Dr. Shobana Devi, who is also a teacher from Sharjah Indian School. She is the HOD of chemistry in our school. She will also come to teach grade 12 chemistry. And we have Mrs. Mariam to teach biology. And also we have a sir from NIMS Dubai. He is Mr. Abdul Nasser. He will be teaching biology for grade 10. And as and when the faculty joins, we will let you know. So my request to you all is, please tune to this at 5 o'clock every day according to the schedule which you are given to you. And just before this program, there will be, it will be displayed on the screen which subject is going to be taught. And in fact, you will be given advanced information as well. Accordingly, you can plan and you can tune into it. And parents, we may make a note on this as well. If you are a student who is studying in 10th standard or 12th standard, if they are not there at home, you record this program or you give provision for tuning into the catch-up TV, and make use of these sessions. So, I hope the things are clear. And of course, another aspect I want to tell you is this all the schools around us, this is a Malayalam channel about the language barrier I am telling about. This is a Malayalam channel. So, this is the only program we have to have in English, because all the schools around us are English medium schools, and we will have to, that is classes, most of the students will be or are used to or talking in English or having classes delivered in English. So, we will be following that as well, but at the same time, parents, or if some students, if you want me to, because all of us are from Kerala. So, being a Malayalam channel, if you have any thing to converse in Malayalam as well, you will be able to call us. If you ask the questions in Malayalam, definitely you will be answered in Malayalam itself. So, the same point to my Kerala viewers or Malayali viewers, because I sometimes some non-Malayalis also may be watching this show. So, let me have a few words to the Malayalam viewers of this TV in Malayalam. So, I take small with your permission to the non-Malayalis, if at all anyone is watching, let me tell a few words in Malayalam as well. എൻ്റെ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട മലയാളി സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെ, വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളെ, ഇത് നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രോഗ്രാമാണ്. പേരൻസിനോട് പറയാനായിട്ടുള്ളത്, ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാം നിങ്ങൾ അവർക്ക് പ്രയോജനപ്പെടുത്തുക. ഒരു ദൃശ്യമാധ്യമം എങ്ങനെയാണ് കുട്ടികളുടെ ഉന്നമനത്തിന് വേണ്ടി പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്നത്, ഒരു ദൃശ്യമാധ്യമം എങ്ങനെയാണ് സാമൂഹ്യ പ്രതിബദ്ധത കാണിക്കേണ്ടത് എന്നുള്ളതിൻ്റെ ഒരു മകുടോദാഹരണമാണ് ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാം. സോ നിങ്ങൾ അത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മറ്റു തരത്തിലുള്ള എന്തെങ്കിലും, പേരൻസിനോട് പറയുകയാണ്, എന്തെങ്കിലും തരത്തിലുള്ള ക്വയറീസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും വിളിക്കാം. നമ്പർ ഇതിൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. Now let's switch on to the sessions. We have serious discussions on physics contents of grade 12, and a few points in general. Let me tell you about physics itself, to be remembered, to improve in this subject. There is a trend of the CBSE board examinations now. There is definitely a drastic change has happened in a few years, the recent years, in pattern of asking questions, how the questions are being asked. It is there is a remarkable, or there is a drastic change came up to the question pattern that you have to have a very clear picture about. Sometimes some of you might have got a feedback about feedback from the those who have completed grade 12 CBSE, that the paper, the last year's exams, the March 2014 the last month's exam, it was not that good, or sometimes some of you might have told you, or sometimes some of you might have told you that the paper was easy, but there is a general impression that the paper was not that good. General impression. Why it came up like that is because of two aspects. You are not tuned to what the guidelines CBSE is giving to you. Say, for example, there is an NCERT textbook. Just analyze yourself, how many of you really make use of the NCERT textbook? The recent Kerala entrance examinations as well, there were many questions, concepts purely related to the NCERT textbook. So, the need of making use of the NCERT textbook is day by day increasing. So, it is not like the tailor-made questions, or it is not like a few notes and then some extra questions from somewhere. That should not be the pattern. Let me tell you, first thing, you have to have a very clear picture about the concepts you are taught in the class. Make use of the school lessons effectively. Second thing, you have to refer the textbook. Second option, after learning the contents from the notes and all, the next option is refer the textbook, read the textbook, do the questions which are done in the textbook, worked out examples, numerical problems, all from the textbook are required or essential. After that only you come out of the textbook and see for the different other types of questions from the various sources. You have so many guides, so many reference books, guides, or what you call as sample papers. And CBSE's website itself is a very big source for you to get many materials from. So, make use of all what you have around and try to work it out as maximum as possible. There is no shortcut. You have to have a clear picture about the concepts. So, there should not be a compromise on this aspect, that I need to know what it is, then only I will proceed. You know, that what is thinking has to be developed in you. And when something is done in the class, at the beginning itself you try to grab maximum possible, beginning itself. You know, when a content is introduced in the class, what exactly happens is, when a content is introduced, the teacher will take it in such a way that you don't know anything. So, what happens is, maximum effort would be given by the teacher to deliver the content as effective as possible. So, that moment, that is when a content is introduced in the class, if that moment, if you are really alert to get maximum, surely you will catch up. Instead, what is happening? So, when something is done in the class, you may be passive. Later on, you will think that, okay, later on I will study, I will do later on, I will work it out, and all. You know, so many ways you will keep the works in pending. At the end of the chapter, you will find that nothing is there in mind, completely blank. So, then what will happen? You may swallow it like that. Okay, that is one thing. So, learn along with the classes. And there should be a regular pattern or regular approach in taking up the contents. Meaning, if you do something in a say some contents you are doing in from one source, stick on to that source. As far as content is concerned, I am not telling you about the different types of HOTS questions and all. That's different. That you can there is no restriction. Any source you can use. You can work out anything. What I am telling you is, to learn the content, to learn a concept. If you are sticking on to one source, you try to do that only. Instead, like preparing from something, from one source or notes, then second notes or a reference book or guides. There may be different approaches. So, you may get confused with the different approaches given the different sources. That will what will happen, to learn a specific content itself, it will take a lot of time. But working out questions, of course, as many as possible as from any source, does not matter, or it is required rather, as many sources as possible you refer. Right. So, that is one thing. And about the to improve in physics in grade 12, let me tell you a few things. First thing, so you listen this point carefully. The peculiarity of this program, let me tell you before coming to that. The special thing about this program is, when I speak to you in a classroom, in maybe to 30 students or 35 maximum. But now I am very much aware that I am talking to a large community of students here in this Gulf. So, with that that kind of seriousness, if you also have, definitely you will be able to make use of this. So, this is what I told you at the beginning, this is what I mentioned at the beginning. The visual media came up with such a program that would be suitable to thousands of students in the Gulf. That is something great. Right. So, this is what is the uniqueness of this program. Okay, let us come back to this. See, when we to improve in 12th, I was talking about that. To improve in 12th, the very first thing, you should have a clear picture about how the different graphs can be plotted according to the different shapes. How different graphs, right? Say for example, if you say, I will show you one graph over here. If you want to plot a graph, if two physical quantities are related like this, x, y, of course, this is how the graph is plotted if y is directly proportional to x. If y is directly proportional to x squared, how will the graph be? Like this, parabolic increase. The shapes of the graph, depending upon this is y is proportional to x squared. So, this is you have to have a clear picture about what kind of a relationship is there between two physical quantities. Accordingly, you would be able to make out what the shape of the graph is. Say for example, in the first unit, first chapter you studied electrostatics. In that you have studied the expression for the force between 2 point charges. So, what is the equation? F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by r square. So, force and r squared. Okay, force is inversely related to r squared. So, inverse related to r squared means it is a parabolic decrease curve. And if you refer the textbook, you can see the two graphs given together about electric field as well as of electric field and potential on the same axis. Two graphs are given, you must be knowing that. So, this is the first thing I said, you should have a clear picture about how different graphs come up. Okay, graphs, one thing. Second thing, another important aspect to know is vectors. You know the types of vectors, how to add vector quantities, the resultant, the resolution of vectors. You know, you might have studied superposition principle. In superposition principle, we are thinking of the vector addition of the forces, vector addition of the vectors. So, from the very first unit, you are doing the vector concept. That means learning the vectors, everything related to vectors which you studied in 11th standard. I am telling about what all you should absorb from 11th standard immediately for doing for 12th. Obviously, you will need those 11th standard contents very much for the next means after 12th, you know, when you go for entrance exams and all, you will require. See, that is the point. One thing I want to tell you. In fact, I thought of telling you at this at the beginning of the session, because you know there is a common thinking that many of the students from the Gulf are not able to get through in the competitive examinations. Like, you know, there are some exceptions, there are a few who are really doing well, you know, in entrance exams as well. You know, one of the boys from our school, he got 24th rank in JEE. You know, it was a good bag. Okay, so it was a good gain by the students from the Gulf. So there are so many like that, but there is a common thinking that you know, they are not up to that level as compared to those who are in India. Two reasons I will tell you. If you analyze this, you can make out why it is so. First thing, 11th standard, most of us or most of our children take 11th standard in a lighter note. If they take 11th standard in a lighter note, the whole year's portions, it would be, you know, it's something you will find it as vague, or you will be struggling whenever you deal with 11th standard questions. So, what I am telling you is why there is a common thinking, or there is a general saying that, you know, students from the Gulf are not coming up in entrance examinations. So, first reason, you see 11th standard you are taking. So, this is in fact applicable to, or this I am telling you to those who are doing 11th standard. Take it seriously, otherwise you will be struggling in 12th as well as in competitive exams. So, lack of seriousness in 11th, and you know the lack of seriousness, it is in fact coming out just because of this one only. Like, first of all, just after 10th they are getting into 11th. That may be one of the reasons, because there is no break. We will talk more about it after a short break, because you know it is a time for a short break, after which we will come back and we will talk a little bit about this, then we will come back to the contents physics. Okay. So, stay tuned, and you will, if you have anything to ask, surely you can call us and ask. Okay. Stay tuned, let us have a break.